said in his interview, he made that first very important step in the right direction by winning against Gukesh. That was his first win at the tournament, and he might want to try to continue with the winning streak. He keeps the move. He keeps that king's pawn push on the board, just presses the clock of Wesley and moves away from the board, maybe getting some coffee, refreshments. There's a lot of dried mango as well, both on the board and away in the
round 5 before that is what Jovanka's hinting at. How important is that to Magnus?
Exactly.
No chance.
No
that
chance.
would mean he has to have a quick draw, force a draw. Okay, he plays the Italian, so I don't think we'll get that peaceful encounter. Then he'd have to have a quick armageddon, get out, watch the football. I think we see now that the chess means just as much to Magnus. If it was Real Madrid in the final of the Champions League, then maybe Magnus tries to get the job done as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's just because it's not Magnus's team in the final that we're going to see a lot of action on the board today.
Okay, excellent. This is what we want. We want pride at stake. We want our players giving 1000% as we see an Italian on the board. I remember these two having epic battles on the Champions Chess Tour back when the whole tour kicked off in the Italian.
Yeah, the Champions League of Chess, the Champions Chess Tour. Those were some really fun fights, and it was normally Wesley with the white pieces against Magnus in a lot of those games. We see a quiet start to this one, Magnus not going for the most ambitious line in the two knights defense against the Italian and going for the f7 pawn, although that is a threat right now. Wesley can choose to develop his bishop to e7, super safe, maybe a bit quieter but less ambitious. Bishop to c5 is what Wesley, I believe, normally plays, but you can also get away with h6, waiting move, protecting the g5 square, stopping white's knight jumping forward. Lots of choice for black. This is going to be a quiet game initially, slow Italian, could come to life a bit later.
And there's also one more interesting idea that I will add. I'm not expecting it, but I'll also point out that Wesley has been really switching things up at Norway Chess, a lot more ambitious in his games. You know, we see him pushing the h-pawn, pushing the g-pawn every opportunity that he gets. And there are lines in the Italian where black can achieve that. But for that to happen, he'd have to start with the move h6 right now. Keep it flexible. Will he fianchetto his bishop or get it out the traditional route? I would love to see Wesley go h6 and take the fight to Magnus Carlsen.
Well, that will be something for the books. But talking about fights, we have to go to Ali Rez's game against Vincent Keimer because this was incredibly unbalanced. I mean, it's really dynamic when black plays like this with these kind of wing gambits, but when white does it with that extra move,
its own pawn, threatened to march forward with the black king. Magnus Carlsen in an absolutely busted position, but we've seen Magnus do miracles in endgames.
Well, we have seen Magnus perform endgame miracles, but here Wesley is in the zone. All he has to do, as David's highlighted, is just move that knight to the center, keep an eye on the rogue g-pawn, and the d-pawn is up for grabs, and Magnus knows.
You look at him and you know that he knows. You know, you fall back with that knight, your king is free to pick up the d5 pawn. You're not going to be up 1, you're going to be up 2 pawns in that position.
Wesley is so close to victory now. Maybe we can pull up the 2-board split again.
And picks up 3 points. And here, Wesley So is the one who is in full control, on the verge of getting his first win in classical.
And it's going to be against none other than the world number 1. Meanwhile, the world champion getting his first classical win of Norway Chess, getting his first win of Norway Chess, showing why he's India's board number 1 right there in a crazy fight. Anything but a controlled performance. He puts a halt to Pragyananda's amazing run here in Oslo. G-pawn.
He's got one last hope. Might as well. Past pawns are there to be pushed. White's knight has nowhere to move other than the corner of the board. That would be way too sad. Magnus now just either has to give up that g-pawn to activate his knight or has to wait with his king. Magnus, he's not used to losing such one-sided positions. Wesley's totally outplayed him, totally outmaneuvered him. What a game so far, Wesley So.
And there's nothing to be done if you're white. You can never capture that d2 pawn. All king pawn endgames are lost, and that's it. Magnus Carlsen resigns. Wesley So takes down the world number 1.
What a performance there from the American to pick up 3 points with the black pieces. Magnus Carlsen loses. Wesley So, what a champion. What a game.